All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Um, yeah, I've been dealing with maybe a little bit of a cough, a little bit of a sore throat in a way. Not necessarily fully, but I feel like I'm coughing a lot more. But cryptocurrency doesn't stop. Investing doesn't stop. Where the markets are going doesn't stop. I want to see what's happening with everybody's portfolio when they're seeing XRP actually reach to these levels. The XRP ETF, the um, seeing the end of the year and hopefully seeing the November and December go really, really well for cryptocurrency, but you never really know depending on what's going on in the real world um, outside of the investing side of things. But yeah, currently we have 24 people here. If you could hit the like button, I would greatly appreciate it as soon as you get in here. Let me put a poll here. Did you All right, so go ahead and answer the poll. Hit that like button. Get me to 20, 30 likes or so and continue to move on from there. But I do appreciate you guys for being here. For some reason, I feel like very like jittery right now. Like I drank a bunch of coffee or had a bunch of caffeine. Um, all I had was pistachios. Does pistachios make you like jittery? Yeah, it's like I like I had a bunch of caffeine or something. Weird. Um, let's scroll up to the top. Let's see what's happening in the world today. Good morning. Good morning, Brandon White. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Um, hey, Matthew, how are you doing today? And what do you think about DXRP is going to announce tomorrow? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I haven't looked into it. I actually haven't been heavily into anything lately, honestly. I've been doing my bits of research here and there, but I've been spending a lot of time with the girls. They're starting up basketball. I'm actually coaching. I'm only coaching one team because I know some people. I talked to them about the fact that I might be coaching two teams. I'm only coaching one, but Harper is playing on two. So she's playing on the third and fourth grade, my team, and third and fourth grade, the second team as well, just to be as an extra body. And yeah, it should be interesting. First practice is going to be on Sunday. I'm excited for it. Harper's excited for it. What we don't like is the fact that she's also doing swimming, so that may mix with basketball because basketball is usually on Sundays. Games are on Sundays, but games are going to be on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's gonna be a nightmare. But I haven't really dove into that. Did they say they were going to have some sort of an announcement tomorrow? I actually need to check into what the price is right now as well. XRP, what's going on with XRP right now? XRP ETF live, nice to see. Yeah, I mean, what's good is the fact that you have the ability to have traditionalists invest into cryptocurrency. It's a big deal if they wanted to invest into XRP and not have a Coinbase account or a Kraken account or any other crypto related account. They can um, now invest into it because they're investing directly into that ETF. And it creates more of the traditionalist mindset where it's a long term mindset rather than that short term mindset that many people have in cryptocurrency just to be able to gain the gains now. But what gives you more of a long term mindset would definitely be more of an all encompassing ETF, which already has included XRP for the longest time. And I've been investing into that for a while, and I want to consistently invest into it. But I now have to wait until the new year in order to add more to my retirement account. I'm going to consistently add more there and see that growth. XRP, yes. We're all about it. XRP. You're trying to say ETF or ETH? XRP ETH. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. Holding strong. No shakeout here. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have no issues with what I'm holding and what I believe in. There's many people that question um, what I invest into, and that's fine. You can question it all you want. It's not going to stop me from investing, right? What you say doesn't dictate what I do. And I hope that it's the same way with you guys, doing the best you can to create your own strategy with maybe a little bit of influences here and there, but it shouldn't fully influence what you do with your positions or with your money. God bless you and yours. Much love. Stay in faith and prayer. Keep up the awesome work, brothers and sisters. Thank you for being here, Morris, and thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Same to you. Yo, holding strong. Said no shakeout here. We're in a solar storm right now. What does that mean? Did you know? I didn't know. No, because I don't know what that means. You might be feeling that. Wait, you might be feeling that, to be honest. Oh, you mean like the sickness or the soreness in my throat that I'm feeling? There's something going on. I don't know. It's whatever. Life moves on, right? Um, when you're a kid and you're sick, time can stop in a way. When you're an adult and you're sick, time can't stop. Nobody's stopping for you. I try and teach my children the same thing, right? The world continues to move on. Time doesn't stop because you're sick. Time doesn't stop because you're hurt. Time doesn't stop because um, you know you are feeling a certain way mentally, right? um, it continues to move on. So I kind of move the same way. Walmart and Amazon want their own stable coin. Um, is that ISO uh, 222 format? I don't know. Again, they wait. You're saying they want their own stable coin in that in an ISO 20022 format. I don't know if that's a question or if you're telling me. What are the thoughts? What are your thoughts about Telcoin? I in the past looking at that, I was okay with Telcoin. I don't think I had any major issues, but then again, you never know. It currently sits at 209 by market cap. I always feel like things that are off the first page are good to at least either take a risk. Sorry, or believe into. Now, I don't think this should be off the first page or shouldn't be that far off the first page if I'm mistaken or if I'm not mistaken. But it's sitting at a $546 million market cap with $39 million worth of volume. You have all of the supply that is out there, the max supply, 91 billion of the circulating supply that's out there. So as you look at history to show what the highest price was before we get into kind of what that was and if there was dilution, the highest price that you've seen all time is about 6 cents. It currently sits at 60% of a penny. That would be a 10x from where we are here today at a 6x. Sorry, at a 6 cent price point. That's not bad at all. I just need to know kind of what it does and what's the reason to hold it and believe in it. But it is available on S tier or not S tier exchanges, but tier one exchanges. Not available on Coinbase or Binance there, but has some tier one exchanges. Has majority, maybe some just swap systems as well, but not many. A lot of trading pairs, but not many platforms that it is on. So it's definitely interesting. I think you have to look into it a little bit more from the history that it shows. It shows promise to be able to see gains here, but it's all about the question marks behind it, right? When you look at all history, doesn't answer these question marks as to why it was up there and can it hold at these levels? What is it used for, and can it be used for more? Is that use a reason to bring it back up here and be worth this much, or is it just based on hype and people looking for the next best thing? You know what I mean? So where it stands still has a lot of promise and a lot of upside based on history, but that's really all that we can go off of for Telcoin. If we looked at the entire market right now, make sure you guys hit the like button. We got 66 people that are here. I would like to get to about 30 to 40 likes. Now, I would really appreciate that. But the entire market is slightly down, about 1% down on the day, $3.43 trillion market cap. Fear and greed index is closer to fear. It's at 25. Not in that red section yet, but still, closing in on it. Also, altcoin season, we are still firmly in Bitcoin season. We are 28 out of 100 to push towards altcoin season. RSI has been a little bit weird because anytime we see any type of positivity, it looks like things are insanely overbought. I feel like it's a little bit like touchy. Like it's if you see any type of positivity, it really, really picks up. And I don't know where or how that algorithm really fully works, but I don't really look at that and go, okay, now we're going to see things fall from here, or rise from here, because it's just it looks like it's kind of finicky in a way. Anyways, Ethereum, it's down by 2%. Bitcoin's down by 1%. XRP is up by 2%, 2.42, $2.42, and it's probably because of the ETF. BNB is slightly up as well, closing in on that $1,000 price point. Solana is slightly down by 2%. Dogecoin, very slightly down. It's basically zeroed out, where you're seeing it down 0.11% on the day, but at 17 cents, I still feel like you have some decent promise there. It is a meme coin. You have to believe in it for the hype behind it rather than just like what the utility could be, but you also have an ETF associated with that. So that's a bigger deal. Cardano, 1.36% down. Hype is down by 2%. Chainlink is down by 1%. So we're not seeing the most positive day here today, but when we look at the last 7 days, things are looking up for a lot of plays, right? Litecoin is up by 14%. You can see the Chainlink is up by 5 or 6%. Bitcoin Cash 10%. Dogecoin 8%. You can see XRP that's also 8 to 9%. So things are looking up in more of the longer term, but we're still pushing for XRP to get to those higher levels. Like for what we're talking about here today, we want XRP to reach a level of $5, right? Baby step. I was watching a video on Facebook, which I don't typically go on there for shorts, but sometimes Eric will make fun of me because I'll get stuck in the rabbit holes of those videos that have the really, really bad acting, but they sometimes have like a story behind it that really draws you in. And I get stuck in stories, right? I love stories and I love finishing those stories. So this one wasn't really that bad. I forget who created it, but some of the acting from them were actually really, really good. But basically what I'm going with or what I'm getting to is the fact that in that video they said you have to, in order to get to the top of the ladder, right, you have to climb, you have to go by one rung at a time, right? And that was very, very interesting to me, because obviously it's true. If anything you do, you have to take your steps to get there. There are steps to success, and seeing these levels that we can hit from $2 to $3 to $3.50 to breaking the all-time high price wise, not just breaking the all-time high market cap wise, but breaking the all-time high price wise, and then getting to a $4 mark and a $5 mark, knowing that a $5 mark would be very significant. But that's not the end all be all, right? Getting to a $1 trillion mark will be a very, very significant level, as well as a $500 billion mark. So we have to look at that, and we'll see that kind of make those moves as we move along. The ETFs, in a way, are slightly priced in, but when we look at the overall altcoin season and, hopefully what shows as all-encompassing ETFs that do heavily invest into the top 5 cryptocurrencies that are there: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, those, we can see an inflow of money, but an inflow of money that has a very, very small outflow, like traditional ETFs. So that's what we're hoping for. But currently sitting at $2.42. We'll get more into that in a little bit. Yeah, so there's a huge news coming for tomorrow, the 14th. I think they said it sounds like, I think they said, and it sounds like you're very busy. I don't know if I could do all that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot to deal with, but it's fun, right? Because if they enjoy playing sports, they enjoy getting and playing and doing whatever they're doing, and I'm gonna support it in the best way possible. And I'm glad that I have the time to do that, right? So, yeah, but I don't complain about it at all. I'd rather spend time with family than do anything else. Um, but I still want to make sure that we have the funds and that people are informed and all of that stuff. And I think that there's a boatload of information that's out there that people can find. And I don't want to be the only source in a way. And what is your minimum target that you see XRP in 5 years from now? My minimum target, that's tough, because when you say the minimum target, what's the level that's the lowest price? The lowest price could be where we're at now, right? But if you're talking about the minimum profit targets, um, I would say a level of right before $10. I would say that's my minimum, because I plan on taking profit at 5, and I believe some at $10, right? Um, but I also see a lot more for the future. I see it hitting higher and higher figures, seeing it worth multiple trillions of dollars based on what it can be used for. So the maximum level that I'm looking for is that $100 price point. I believe that it can go further, but I won't necessarily have, not necessarily, I won't have all of my XRP at that $100 level. I will have majority of my XRP off the table at that level, but I still will have a significant amount of XRP left on the table for forever, right? I don't plan on touching it. I don't plan on doing anything with it unless somehow it gets to unbelievable numbers that I feel like I want to put elsewhere. Like if it gets to $1,000 per coin, which is not unbelievable, but if it gets to $1,000 per coin, that means that what I'm holding, could be worth significantly more than where that stands, right? You're looking at um, $10 million is what I can have just sitting there, and I don't necessarily need that much money, right? It would be great to have it sitting there and be worth so much more, and then Harper take it over, Hayden take it over, whatever. But um, yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But I would say minimum that I'm looking for, would love to see a lot more, but minimum is $10, and it could be right before that. But that doesn't mean that that's the minimum price that it can get to, or it doesn't mean that's the maximum price that it can get to, and that's my ultimate price that I want to see. No, that means that I know that it will get there, um, but there's so much promise above that. Does that make sense? The worst possible scenario that I see in 5 years is the fact that it hits, or it goes to that level of $10 and resists hard. That's the worst possible scenario. I don't see anything less than that. the bank the banks gain 143 billion per year in fees from those two companies, and uh, they don't feel like they should have to share that money anymore. And what are you talking about, Brandon? Let me scroll up here. Oh, you're telling me. Okay, keep going. Oh, from Walmart and Amazon, they receive 140 but 143 billion a year in fees from those two companies. And I don't feel like they should have to share that money to any or that money anymore. Um, yeah, I mean, for sure. Big businesses are always going to find the best way to get away from taxes and fees and being able to collect as much money as possible. They are they are amazing at finding ways to get away from taxes. um, maybe it's been a long week or a long day. It's only 11 o'clock Eastern. Taxes. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, they will find a way to get away from taxes to the best of their ability. And they do it based on charities. They do it based on reporting no profits. They do it based on like just a lot of stuff. And they will also find the best way to get away from fees. And if that's the best case scenario, then yeah, they're going to go ahead and do that. What's your view on the possible EPM from the solar storm? Kidding, man. You just said it's not your thing. Yeah. Um, do you hold any Turbo and Tosh? I think I might hold Turbo somewhere, but yeah, nothing else. What's up with CRO? Oh, what's going on with CRO? I haven't seen if CRO is doing anything crazy. I was gonna say last I checked, it was at about 12 cents. It's not um, performing at the level that we all want to see. You know, we all want to see it get to that 30 cent level, 50 cent level, 90 cent level, a dollar, and so on and so forth. Altcoin season, we're not at altcoin season yet, and I expect CRO to have a major effect or a major impact during altcoin season. Um, but yeah, we just haven't seen that. So um, still at a decent price. It does suck that it came down from 30 plus cents all the way down to basically dropping over 50%. It does suck, but I still hold all of my CRO. I still believe heavily in CRO. It is a big play because of what crypto.com represents. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. It does represent a lot because of, or will be big because of what crypto.com represents and how big crypto.com will be and is right now. Um, but it just hasn't had that reaction. So, yeah, I'm still holding it, still believing in it. Still has actually a big portion of my portfolio, not the biggest. Obviously, XRP is that. Will institution adopt Yearn Finance? It would be great to see, but I don't think so. I don't think that is at the forefront. You might have some that find a way to do that. I just don't see that as the biggest, the big picture item for any kind of institution to say, I'm going to adopt Yearn Finance over many others that are out there. I'm not saying that it won't have an adoption or won't have um, a massive use case in our economy today. Um, I hold it for that reason because I do believe in what Yearn Finance can do, but I also believe in the short-term movement that doesn't really need adoption and just needs altcoin season to kind of make its way into the triple digits, or let's say six digits, $100,000 or so. CRO is strong, be patient. CRO is a long-term hold. For sure it is. I stake CRO and get a 7% APY. I also stake CRO mainly for the crypto.com credit card, which I haven't actually fully gotten yet because I just finished what I had for my XRP card, which I think I need to pay that actually. I just finished my XRP card and let's look at the balance. There we go. When do I owe that? No payment due. No notifications. There's no payment due right now, but I have a lot that I've been able to earn in XRP because of what I had there. I had a $200 bonus. Was it a $200 bonus? I forget what it was. It might have been a two. I think it was $200. $200 bonus, and then also all of the um, rewards that I gained from using the card. But now I'm going to kind of transition over to the CRO card just to be able to collect that and use the credit line rather than my like the debit card that I currently still have and are still um, topping off, adding more money to. Dude, you're using using his credit cards to buy XRP? Me? No, I have the XRP credit card. Are you talking about me or are you talking about somebody else? I have that's funny. I have the Gemini XRP credit card that I get extra XRP for spending money. So my natural bills like groceries or whatever will go towards that, but then also gather XRP in rewards. So as I'm making my normal spending, I get XRP in rewards, which then is an appreciating asset. And when it does reach a level of 10 or 100 or $1,000, it's worth a lot more than where it stands here today. So never have used a credit card to buy cryptocurrency. I will never use a credit card to buy cryptocurrency. I have a decent amount of funds to be able to play with, to throw into crypto and throw into my retirement accounts and throw into my dividend portfolio and throw into a lot of different places. I'm fine. I don't need to use credit cards to buy XRP. But currently, I received a bonus, like I said, for the Gemini XRP credit card of $200 after I reached a spend of $3,000, I think it was. And that was very easy to hit because, groceries and all that stuff. um, and it was over like 3 months, which had happened very, very quickly. But I'm now going to transition to kind of use the other or use the crypto.com card so that I can also get a bonus there and get those rewards because it's like 5%. And I'll take that any day of the week, especially where CRO is now compared to the 30 cent price that it was at. um, I don't know you, but every time I see XRP chart, it looks like the beginning of a bearish double top chart formation. Every time you see XRP's chart, that's what you see. A lot of times you see what you want to see, but yeah, I get what you're saying here. Every time you look at XRP's chart for like all history, what it's showing here is you do have a double top situation where you have a $3 price point, a $3.60 price point, and then we could also see a W formation. You can see many different um, patterns. It depends on what your mind wants to see. If your mind wants to see that it's bearish versus seeing that it could be bullish and bouncing off of that $2 level because it did more recently hit that $2 level or even lower, um, you are seeing the bearish, you're seeing bearish because you want to see bearish. If you're seeing bullish, you're seeing bullish because you want to see bullish. Um, I look at it and I don't necessarily read into the patterns too much, read into the technical analysis for crypto because crypto is very, very speculative and you can't take traditional patterns in what we see and try and basically say it's going to react in this manner. Yes, the reasons why, let's say you're looking into a stock, you're looking at a Tesla, the reasons why you'll see these patterns work so well is because it's a traditional investment vehicle, right? Where people are looking for these exact things that you're looking for, and they will react the exact way that you are reacting. It depends on what people see, because in this scenario, you have two things you can see. You can see a double bottom, you can see a double top. But what are more people going to see here? Maybe they'll see that double bottom. maybe you'll see the more aggressive crypto enthusiasts that see we'll see a double bottom or potentially see a double top for a short-term play. It really all depends on what people are going to do, whether those patterns actually work in your favor or not. And then if they don't work in your favor, you can dig into or dive into different charts at a 5 minute, at a 1 minute, at a 10 minute, at a 30 minute, at a 1 hour, 4 hour, whatever. You can dive into any of those time frames to kind of tell yourself, oh, this is what I didn't see, and this is what it reacted off of. But in reality, no, it just didn't go that way. So you can force yourself to see what you want to see, but a lot of times it's not going to go that way because cryptocurrency is a very speculative market and people are going to not react the way a traditionalist would react. Does that make sense? But I understand where you're coming from. I look at it less of a technical analysis standpoint. Still like to factor that in short term to see how people are going to react. But for the long term, I'm looking at what crypto is going to be and what it could potentially be used for. Because you have to look into a lot more than just like what's going to happen in the short term. What's going to happen with the chart because it looks like this. Well, before, if you look all the way back, it looked completely flat. And it told you nothing about the fact that it was going to absolutely skyrocket from a level of, less than a penny to $3, right? XRP police. Until we actually implement XRP in a way that we want, the price isn't going to budge. I don't agree with that. I think implementation comes with excitement, and that excitement comes with growth, and that growth comes before you decide to fully implement it in different places, in all the places that we want. Case in point would be any business anywhere. Take Amazon. Amazon wasn't what it is today, but it was still growing as people had the expectation for it to be what it is today, or at least in part of what it is today. You're going to see things that grow based on speculation of what it will be. And then when it does get implemented in that way, it skyrockets even more, right? Sometimes that price rise will get priced in, but sometimes it won't. Sometimes it can't. Most times it can't fully get priced in because people have the expectation and then they exceed those expectations. And then it rises a crazy amount more. There's many people, so many people that are not here today or even are here and still arguing the same thing, that didn't believe that XRP would even get back to a $50 billion market cap, let alone a $150 billion market cap. And their reasoning behind it, there was many people that have different reasoning where it was the lawsuits and the SEC is going to tear it down and it's going to be worth zero and all of that stuff. They didn't believe that it would be utilized, that it would be in the room, in these conversations with institutions, financial institutions, with governments, that it would be utilized today. Many people believe the opposite. And when those things did happen, you see price rises, right? You see it going to a level of $1, and then people questioning, oh, well, you know what? It's gonna drop from here. Then it goes to $1.50, and then they're like, oh, well, you know what? Surely it's gonna drop from here. $2, $3, $3.50, right? They start questioning everything they ever knew because XRP is, kind of making them believe in something completely different. XRP will dump below $1 next year, down since 2018. I mean, that's your, whatever you feel, right? Anything that you say is not going to make me feel a different way about my investments. I've been profitable on my investments based on what I believe in, not based on what other people are saying. So you can feel a certain way, feel free, but it's not going to change my thoughts behind it. And I will be either successful or I will fail because of it. But it's my choice to do that. You know what I mean? So if it is going to be there, then kudos to you. Hopefully you're shorting the play. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I would imagine you aren't, because it does have that thought in the back of your mind. Well, what if it does? Right? What if it does skyrocket to $10? I lose everything that, you know, I invested. Not me, but you specifically, if you decide to short the play. So you probably haven't. Matthew said he will become a millionaire, more like he's broke now. All right. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we get 50 cent XRP again. I will be ready to buy. Dude, using credit to buy XRP. Dollar cost average XRP. Um, get in while you still can. Buy the fear. Yeah. Don't use credit cards to buy anything. Don't use credit cards to buy anything. No, that's not. If you have the money in your bank account and you know how to use credit cards effectively, if you are good at using credit cards, meaning that you only use it for your standard bills. You only use it for the things that, naturally come through in the month. You can get a discount on what you were spending on. So for me, in that case, in that scenario, I can gain, 3, 4, 5% every single month in rewards, or in an investment that can appreciate in value. So it's only if you know what you're doing, right? If you are trying to reach that spend by buying clothing that you don't necessarily need, or shoes that you don't need, or whatever, um, that's not going to work out, right? For me, I go to the grocery store and I'll spend $200, $300 at the grocery store. That $300 I can now have rewards off of that can appreciate in value. That's like someone saying, you spend $300 and we will give you 1% of that, or 5% of that back in gold. And you can just keep that gold and put it aside. You can sell it later if you want to, or you can utilize it in whatever way you want. That's what I'm gaining from it. So I understand where you're coming from, but if you know what you're doing with credit cards, which I have historically known what I'm doing with credit cards, I started this channel off of talking about credit cards, and I even have a credit card channel right now that I haven't really posted too much. But yeah, I know a lot about credit cards. He's talking about you, bro. Um, yeah, it seems that way. I'm a long-term guy holding assets a minimum 5 to 10 years. That's what happened to me. That's really smart. Being bearish on crypto is so dumb. Yeah, yeah, in a market that's very, very speculative. I'm considering picking up Jasmy. Jasmy is at a good price. Isn't Jasmy at like 1 cent right now? Yeah, Jasmy is less than 1 cent right now. Um, I'm excited for the future of Jasmy, but I know a lot of people have counted it out because of the like the negativity that we've seen from the 6 cent level all the way down to less than a penny. Um, there's a That's the reason why I have a million Jasmy in my possession. If it found a way to get back down to 40% of a penny, I think I would definitely, maybe even 50% of a penny. Um, I think I would definitely be interested in throwing another 5,000 in there to get another million, because then I could react the way that I want to with 1 million, and then react the other way that I want to with another million, and guarantee me to become a Jasmy coin millionaire. Um, that's what happened to me. I was ignorant. if you have money on the side, cool. Otherwise, it's in your best interest to sell while it's high, so you can buy lower. Timing the market is very difficult. Um, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. If you can effectively time the market, then go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna um, tell you not to invest in your way. However, all you need is one mistake to then start, instead of buying low and selling high, you're now buying high and selling low. One mistake. You feel like you missed a large opportunity. Let's say you were doing that for the longest time, which I have run into people that have done that, right? XRP. XRP was going up and down from 70 cents back down to like 40 cents, right? Um, and it was going back and forth. People were like, look, this is so easy. I can make so much money just by buying in at 40 cents, selling at 70 cents. Well, one day it didn't come back down from that 70-cent mark. And they missed their overall opportunity to go from that 40-cent mark all the way up to a $3.60 mark. And they said that they bought three times. They bought three times during those runs, up to a dollar, retracing down, up to $1.50, retracing down, up to $3 or whatever, right? They bought three times during that level, and they've lost money every single time that they did it. And now they hold less than what they held before when they first started. They made profits. I forget how many times they told me, but they told me multiple times they made profit, making thousands of dollars. And they were like, yes, I can now have more XRP at the bottom, and I can keep doing this until I get as much XRP as I wanted. They started out with, or they started out with, maybe thousands. Let's say they started out with 10,000. They didn't give me a number. Let's say they started out with 10,000. They then were able to make money and get them up to 20,000 XRP. By the time it was all said and done, and it was up to a $3.60 mark, they now had less. They had less than when they started with that 10,000 XRP. Does that make sense? That's what you can run into, because once you start buying high and selling low, that's where you can't break that in that same position. A lot of times when I get into that situation where I'm buying high and selling low, I will cut that off completely and just not buy it until I see the absolute lowest price. And if it doesn't, then oh well, I'm not in it. One example of that for me would be Quant. Quant got up to, or got all the way down to, I believe, a $40 price point. Quant got all the way down to like a $40 price point, and I wanted to buy at that $40 level. Um, and it currently sits at $88. If I bought now and I bought the same amount that I was going to buy, I wouldn't have been able to get 100 Quant. I would have gotten half of that, right? Or I would get half of that. The fact that it didn't come back down to $43 means that I don't buy Quant. I just completely cut it off, and I'm not buying that position. I'm not saying I don't believe in it, not saying it can't go a lot further. It's just, it gets me into that trend of buying high and selling low, and I do not want to be there. So this is one of those instances to where I'm not going to do that, where I had to cut it off emotionally. Um, Hopefully that person that said that I'm completely broke. I don't know where they're at. I don't remember what their name is. It's like Dream or something. That said that I'm broke now and I don't have any XRP, and said that I would become a millionaire from cryptocurrency. I hope that you saw what I showed um, earlier, and the fact that I'm not broke, not even close. Um, but it's a blessing to be where I am, right? And I want to continue to invest and believe in cryptocurrency in the long run because it's not over, right? We haven't seen altcoin season. When we do, whether it's whether it's now or whether it's in 2026 or whether it's in 2027, I'm set for it, right? I'm ready for that, and I can't wait to see these levels be hit. Um, I can't wait to find ways to I can't wait to find ways for in these investments to grow to certain levels, to fund retirement accounts as well, to fund my dividend account a lot more. Like I can't wait for that. Like I'm nowhere near broke. I'll tell you that. What's up, Matt? XRP, homie. I'm still here, Matt. A year now with you. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. It does mean a lot. When people have been watching for a long time or have been members for a long time or continue to comment, right? I I love it, right? I love the conversation. I'm not very um I'm not an extrovert in real life. I'm very introverted. Like I like being by myself. I can hold a conversation about things that I enjoy. But I'm very, very introvert. Like I'm very to myself and to my family rather than being outspoken and um, the life of the party and all that stuff. I'm not that type of person, which is crazy to say because I'm on YouTube and I'm talking to a bunch of people. But even though it's you see that you have like 700 views, 1,000 views or whatever, and you could have 1,000 people that listen to you, um, you guys can turn it off whenever you want. Um, in a real conversation, if you physically turn it off to where you're not into that conversation, you just walk away, right? And that's in a way that's rude, right? And also it wouldn't mean that I continue to talk. Like if I'm talking to a bunch of people and I see half of them walk away, yeah, I'm going to continue to talk to the people that are here, but then you have more people that come in. It's kind of weird. Where they're like, I want to join this conversation. They hear the conversation, like, you know what, I don't want to be in this conversation. And they get out. It's kind of weird in that situation. But yeah, I cringe when I hear Jasmy shills. Why? I'm a big fan of Jasmy. I like Jasmy not just because of the movement that it had recently. I was a fan before you saw the movement, and then many other people jumped on the bandwagon to say that, oh, I'm gonna be a heavier part of this, or I'm gonna have more of it. I love me some quant. How XRP ETFs will make XRP uh, to grow it. Wait, how XRP ETFs will make XRP to grow it? How will basically what you're saying, hopefully, is how are XRP going to help XRP grow? Well, it brings a whole new market and sector, or not market, but or sorry, not sector, but market into it, where you have the traditionalists, right? People that have historically invested into ETFs, or have invested into businesses now have the ability to invest directly into that ETF without directly investing into the ETF. It's an indirect way of being a part of the crypto growth. And it's like investing into a, uh, a business that's kind of a startup that has a lot of potential, right? So these traditionalists are investing into it, not a boatload of money. It might be 0.5% of their portfolio value or even less than that. Um, but altogether, it adds up to be worth something, quite a bit. I find it um, maybe a little bit of a, not a little bit of a problem, but the way that we're looking at it, we're always looking at it as we would look at a traditional ETF, when in reality those ETFs are you know a culmination of like big businesses, more consistent businesses, tech companies, pharmaceutical companies, all of the above, to make up an ETF that's more of a consistent mover. But this ETF for XRP is mainly for those people that don't have a Coinbase account or Kraken, or you're a large institution and you want to invest into cryptocurrency, maybe on your traditional platform of Fidelity or whatever. You're investing into that, believing into that, but it's investing directly into XRP, but without having that, crypto platform. For the Crypto 5 ETF, which is GLDC. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Blah, blah, blah. GDLC, is that the position? Oh, this is moving slow. GDLC, which is the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF, which currently sits at $47 or $48. And I feel like that is a great steal of value. I'm going to have to throw something in there. I think I have $600 that I could probably throw in there. Yeah, so this involves 5 different cryptocurrencies rather than just one. So it's looking at the top 5 cryptocurrencies in the market and investing into more of the broader market in a way. That's something that I enjoy being a part of and could see a little bit more consistency, because you're seeing the movement of the entire market, not just Bitcoin, not just Ethereum, not just XRP, right? It's all of those. My understanding is that the XRP ETFs will grow and XRP just stays the same. That's not true. So when people invest into these ETFs, the company Grayscale will then invest into XRP, right? So whatever the ETF institution is, they will take that money and they will invest into the asset. It directly affects the asset unless it's a whole nother ETF format, whether it's a staking ETF or a cover calls ETF or whatever, right? Those would be different. For you investing directly into the XRP ETF, they invest that money directly into XRP and it mimics the movement of XRP. So that's how that goes. If XRP moves, the XRP ETF also moves as well, unless it's a different type of ETF. But these ones that we're seeing here are primarily based on the price movement, based on the asset itself. But this one is based on 5 different assets. Actually, let me, because I want to add some, hopefully it can accept what I'm going to add. Not that. Not my retirement account. I want to go. How much do I have left? I have $506 until max. So I want to kind of introduce the max. 506. Wait, what is the $506.89? I'm going to do the max. 506.89. Choose an account. Coming from my bank account, and it's going to be into that, and it's going to be a new contribution for this tax year, and we're going to review. May take up to 6 days to transfer. I should have just transferred all of it right away. Oh wait, you know what? It's all available. So I hit my max, and now I can put more money into this is where it's difficult, because I'm including this in my retirement account because I feel like crypto is going to be worth a lot more. So investing into a CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF is maybe a little bit too risky for a retirement account, but also you're investing into an entire market, right? Because the top 5 cryptocurrencies are basically make up 90% of the overall market. Like what is the total amount? Let me go ahead and go over here, and I'm going to look at all of the, so the total amount is 3.5 3.4 trillion. I think that's it. So million, billion, trillion. So 3.4 trillion. Currently, Bitcoin is about 2 trillion. Ethereum is 407 billion. Are we looking at Tether as? I don't think they include Tether. I don't think they're including stable coins. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 145 for XRP, and then also, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, and then fourth is BNB, which sits at a 131 billion, and then you have Solana that sits at 84. Yeah, leave USDT out of it. Some of this. Whoops. Well, that sucks. And we'll do that. So this divided by this. So the top 5 cryptocurrencies in the market, which are Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, and Solana, make up 80% of the entire market. 80% of the entire market, meaning that, like, when you typically have like an ETF that's out there for, like, say, the S&P 500, you're making up a large majority of, you know, the market cap in the stock market, right? Tech stocks are huge, so you're making a majority of the market cap that's there. 80% of one market is being shown in this sector, right? In this ETF. That's why I invest into the Crypto 5 ETF, because the top 5 cryptocurrencies, I think for at least a very long time, are going to be a major part of the cryptocurrency market and sector. So that's why I'm investing into it in my retirement account, to see that transpire, to see that growth, and it go from a $48 price point. I'll go ahead and show you guys. Goes from a $48 price point to a $480 price point. So again, I'm gonna have to do it by dollars, and I'm gonna do it by however much my buying power is, which is 700. Oh, that's 7,000. Yeah, about 7. Actually, I'll just do the entire buying power. Was it 709? I'll just do 700. $700, and that'll get me 14 more shares. Done. So now my cost basis has dropped a little bit more, where I now have 93 shares of Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5. Done. And if we go back to my retirement account, click on that, it shows that I have about $9,000 in my traditional IRA. I just started this IRA. I have my dividend account. I have my other retirement accounts as well over in Fidelity. But I wanted to start this one so that I can max out the IRA and go years and show you guys updates on this IRA and how I can collect within this IRA, and the growth that you can see within it, right? This is not a fully traditional way to invest. If you would think about it, you would invest directly into the SPY or invest directly into tech stocks or something like that. But I'm gonna max out my IRA every single beginning of the year, as best to my ability as I can. Every the beginning of the year, $7,000. I'm gonna look to max that contribution out, and then see that growth over time. For right now, in the past, I guess year to date, I'm down 1.45%. And the reason being is because of, how far that has come down for GDLC. But in the next year, you're going to see the consistency of everything 10%, 20%, and be able to grow that over time. Especially with how much is going to go into the SPY, SCHG, and kind of go from there and see that. And I'm going to go literally years. Hopefully, we can take you through the next 30 years and show how this can grow to over $1 million worth of value, just by maxing out your traditional IRA. The thing that I want to preface, there's a lot of people that would love to see the consistency. And I think that's always a great deal as well, being able to see you consistently invest, let's say $10 per day or $20 per day, and see that over time and invest more in a consistent manner rather than one lump sum into the SPY or SCHG. But in what I'm looking at, if you invest all of your contributions in the beginning of the year, you're gaining the max of that 10% that you can gain, right? As long as you do see that consistently move. That makes sense? But if it doesn't, and if it's a down year, you might be losing the max that you could possibly lose in that year. But more than likely, if you keep it in there, you're going to be able to experience that growth for that specific position. Let's say this year, it drops down by 5%, and I didn't gain that 10%. But next year, it gets back to normal and it gains 10%. Well, now I'm gaining the 10% on this and seeing that growth, and I'm also gaining basically 20% from that low point to the high point as we do have the reset. Now, if we don't have a reset and it just gets back to normal before I can contribute anything more, and it's a whole nother story. But there's so many factors into this. What I want to see is just a standard 10% that I can gain. But majority of that right now, 4,000, almost 4,500 of the contributions that I've had went into GDLC. And I'm hopeful that this can do more than a 10x as you see crypto being worth more and more year over year. And the good thing about GDLC is that it's looking at the top 5 cryptocurrencies that are there, but this could be any of the cryptocurrencies that are there. Let's say one moves out of the top 5, you now have a heavy investment into that new top 5 or new 5th crypto that jumped in there. So it's going to be very interesting to see this breakdown and hopefully get like some more information on what percentages they're investing into and moving on from there. So excited for that. I know for the SPY, I believe I'm still up on this play for the year to date, or actually let's look at the last month. Last month, 2.2%. If I put all that money into there, I would be up 2.2% today, just for the SPY. For SCHG, it is up by 2%. So it would be up by 2% if I put all that money directly into Charles Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF, which one of my boys has. He started his investment account and he's doing it solely with this position as of right now. And then he's going to kind of supplement and add some into other place. But this is good, right? But yeah. Anyways, we got about 62 people here, guys. If you can hit the like button, I would greatly appreciate it. The problem with a lot of people are, I think, is they want to be rich overnight. Yeah, investing in crypto is a patience game, and just dollar cost average into the project that you have a high conviction for and chill. I agree with you. I think honestly, it's not even about just cryptocurrency. I think it's about investing in general. People want to see the money now. I've had people that come up to me and they're like, "If I give you $4,000, can you make me another $4,000?" And I'm like, probably, but I'm not going to do that because that teaches you nothing, right? If you want to learn how to invest rather than, just trade, I can teach you that. And every time I explain it to them, they're like, well, I wanted to see my $4,000 be worth so much more. I want to use that $4,000. Well, technically you are, right? You're using the $4,000 to make you more money in the end, but you have to be patient. And if you can't be patient with that money, that means that that's not money that you can save. That means that that's money that you need now. You have to be patient. You have to invest over time. If you invest, I forget what it is. Like if you invest $100 a week for 30 years, you can have like $1.4 million in the end. And that's for 30 years. But if you don't invest that money, you won't have $1.4 million. You'll have whatever you were able to make. So um, let's say you could have invested $100,000 over that time and make $1.3 million over time with that. You left yourself with spending that $100 a week and getting $100,000 over that time. It feels good until you get to retirement and you have nothing, right? And it doesn't cost a crazy amount. Treat it as if it's a bill. It's a bill you pay every single month that's $400 or something. Yeah, that might be a lot. Maybe you can push it down to 200. But let me see if I can bring this up. Calculator. Wish I had the calculator saved. Not Nerd Wallet. Let's see. Your current age, 35. Let's say it's 30, and you wanted to get to 60. Retire a little bit early. Your life expectancy, 85. Sure. Oh, it's gonna give you a full breakdown. Current tax income. I don't want to do all that. No, I don't want to do all that. That's not the retirement calculator I was looking for. Let's see this one. Age 35. Age 30. Current retirement savings. Let's say you have 0. Monthly contributions. You want to do $400. I wish you could do weekly contributions here. Monthly budget in retirement. No, that's not the calculator I wanted either. Need a little more simple. I don't know where it was. Wish I had it saved. I do not have it saved. See, yeah, I don't I want to do that. Maybe 401k calculator. I think that's it. Current age is 35, current annual salary. I don't want to do that salary. No, that's still calculator.net. I don't want to do the salary. I just want to show the interest gain. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. But I do appreciate you guys being here. By the way, if you could hit the like button, get me up to 100 likes. We're like 10 likes away. Also, the people that are viewing on Twitch, thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Anybody that's viewing on X, I also appreciate you guys. Speaking of viewing and the trading and all that stuff, if you guys want to use my link for BTCC, the link is in the chat. If you use my link, you will get a deposit bonus of 10% for your first time deposit. Also, they have another giveaway going on. So if you decide to sign up, deposit, trade before November 15th, you will be entered to win a 500 USDT giveaway. This is a split, right? You'll have 1,500 that's split between 3 winners, right? And you'll be able to win 500 USDT. So definitely sign up, deposit, and trade. You don't have to do a lot. It could be a sign up, deposit $50, trade at $10 if you wanted to. And then, if you wanted to withdraw the rest, you can withdraw the rest later. But the point is that you show that you've tried to trade. I would do like a 2x leverage, or maybe a 5x leverage on like Jasmy coin or something. That would be a big one. And I think you'd be able to make a decent amount. So feel free to check it out. Link is in the description. It's also in the chat where you guys can sign up, get your deposit bonuses, get your extra bonuses up to $10,055, all that stuff. So I forget where this calculator is, man. I don't want that. I just want it's not compound interest. I just want a simple investment calculator. The starting amount, let's say $0. It's going to be 30 years I'm going to be looking at. Rate of return, let's say it's 10%. Compounding annually. Let's say you're adding in $400 at the beginning of each month. It's a compound annually, or you can compound. Let's say it's compounding annually. Sure. Calculate. By the end of it, if you decide to invest, starting with $0, invest $400 every single month. At the end of 30 years, you'll have $825,000. Your contribution will be deposit. It's not giving me the total amount. That's the total contributions. I wish it did. Oh wait, here we go. Total contributions 144,000, and total interest that you're able to gain is $681,000. If you can do that, right? If you can put $500 into your traditional IRA, yes, you still won't be able to max it out because $500 you would only be looking at or $400 you would only be looking at about 4,800 that you can put into your traditional IRA. However, if you can do $600, that can get you to a point where you are maxed out by the end of the year. If you do 500, you're getting close. You're about $6,000 that you're adding every single year. And at the end of it, at the end of 30 years, you're at $1.03 million. And that's how much you have to kind of live off of for your, traditional IRA. Now, if you don't contribute to that and you can't gain the 10%, right, you're looking at whatever your contributions are of $180,000 that you're utilizing within the years of your life, which is great. You can utilize it however you want to, but then when you get to the years that you can't work or can't do anything, you're now at a point to where you have nothing left, right? So just think smart in a way, and that's why I'm deciding to do this in multiple vehicles, multiple areas, whether it's through a traditional IRA or even a cash account, right? Seeing my dividend account grow to where it is and what that can be worth. If I'm starting out with $180,000, if I start out with $180,000 for 30 years, my rate of return is 10%, and I have zero left. By the time if I just left my money in here, left my dividend account.
Brandon White donated $1.99 through Super Chat.
Thank you for that.
Thanks for the show, Matt. Have a blessed day.
Yeah, you too, Brandon White. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat as well. But for me, I have $180,000 that's sitting in my dividend account that I don't necessarily need to touch. Let's say I left that in there for 30 years and grew it by 10% per year. Um, uh, in the first year, I'm growing it from 180,000. Let me go ahead and bring this over here. In the first year, I'm growing this from $180,000 dollars to $198,000, right? Gathering interest of $18,000. Then the second year, I'm growing to $217,000. I'm not adding anything else. I have the 180,000. I'm not adding anything else. Going from 217, 217. I'm growing to 239, 263, 289, 318. Like these, this is what you can see as you move along and what you can be able to gain per year as you gain that 10%. So, that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it, and that's what I want to do with the ending balance. Total amount of interest is $2.9 million with an ending balance of $3.1 million off of $180,000. If you have a certain amount, growing that over a certain period of time. This is why, and it's another thing. This is why if you have a low mortgage, right, a low interest on your mortgage, this is why they say just if you have the money to pay it off, don't pay it off directly. Take that money, throw it into an investment account, and then let it gather that interest, because this is the amount of interest that you'll gain over that time period. Let's say for me, I had a $200,000 mortgage and I was going to pay $230,000 in the end in interest, plus the $200,000, so a total of $400,000. If I leave that $200,000 in an account that can gain me if I left that in an account that can gain me 10% per year, right? And I scroll down here, I can gain $3.5 million. That 400, or I guess $236,000 that I paid in interest can be made up all by the amount of gains that you had. Even if you gain 5%, 5% per year, you're still gaining, you're still at $864,000, meaning that your total interest is $664,000, even if it's only 5% per year in what you're gaining. This is the art of compounding your interest there. So if you have your money to pay off your mortgage, don't do it. But I mean, right now, your mortgage, you might end up paying a lot because, it's like 6% or 7%. But if you feel as though you can gain a lot more with that 200,000, 300,000, whatever, however much that is, just put it into an account. Thank you for the super chat, though. I don't know if he's here, but thank you for the super chat again. Do you think from Thursday XRP can go up? Do I think from Thursday XRP can go up? As from tomorrow, I think ETFs go live. Do I think XRP can go up? Yes. I'm not looking at the short term. Would love to see it grow. Short term, would love to see that be the reason why crypto really breaks out and altcoin season happens. But I'm not banking on the short term movement. I observe XRP, and over the years, there's no significant growth. That doesn't make any sense. It's definitely over the last year you've seen a significant growth. I don't know what you're talking about. And over the years, definitely, it's like 50,000% or something. Go to XRP, and over the years, all history, it's up by 40,779%. Over the last year, it's up by 227%. So yes, it has had significant growth over even just 1 year, let alone 3 or 5 or 10. Growth is in the eye of the beholder. Very true, but it's it's also, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's more to that. How about AVAX? I'm a big fan of AVAX. I have about 500 AVAX. What's the news, Matt? What's the brand new news? How much brand new news? Type online invest calculator. I gotta say the price isn't looking too hot right now. Very, very discouraging. Yeah, it's not always gonna look like sunshine, rainbows, unicorns, and butterflies. 10% per year is massive amount in the UK savings account. We're paying 2 to 5% max. We're not talking about just a savings account. We're talking about a traditional ETF. So if you're investing, let's say, let's go to my go back here. If you're investing into certain things, right? You scroll down here and you go to, let's say, not SCHD because that hasn't really functioned well. Let's say you're looking at TDIV, right? TDIV is primarily investing into technology, 85% into technology. If we look at history for this position, this has shown that over 1 year, it's grown by 31%. Over 3 years, it's grown by 31% on average. Over 5 years, it's grown by 21% on average, 16% for 10 years, and 15% for 12 years. If we just look at the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF, we are looking at, scroll down here, we're seeing on average for however many years, we're looking at 10.7%. Last year is 21%, 3 years 22%, 17% for 5 years, 14% for 10 years. So it is massive for a savings account, but that's not what we're getting in a savings account. This is in an ETF. And if you were getting that, let's say it was 16%. Where's the calculator? Let's say it was 16% annually for my $200,000. I'm looking at 17.2. Let's round up. $17.2 million. $200,000 over 30 years gained 16.9 million dollars there. It sounds amazing because you're seeing the numbers in front of your face, but people don't take action into doing it the right way, right? All you have to do is be consistent. If you are consistent in anything you do, you can be amazing at it, right? If you are consistent in playing basketball, right, and practicing basketball, you will get better at it. If you are consistent in learning how to invest, you will get better at it. If you are consistent in just providing that investment to a place that has history of growing over 30 years, a massive amount, you will have success in it. And when you experience that success, when you start seeing the numbers flow, you start realizing, oh, you know what? This is real. I can gain 10% per year on my $200,000. 10% of $200,000 is $20,000 per year. That's not really the best salary, but you're gaining that, which can be somebody's salary, right? Could be a lower end salary. As you move along, 5 years from now, right? You gained, let's go ahead and put it back to 10%. You gained 10%. Again, that's $220,000. You gain $20,000. The interest that you gain in the next year is $22,000. Interest that you gain in the next year is $24,000. As you move above 5 years, you're gaining $29,000 per year, $30,000, $35,000, $38,000, $40,000, $47,000, $50,000. In 10 years, you're gaining about what a normal salary is in interest. You don't have to do anything with it, but you still have $570,000 that's sitting in there, and you consistently gain thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars as you move along. That's what it's about. Now, if I had contributions like my 180,000, let's say I do have contributions of that, and I want to add $24,000 per year. Right? I wanted to add $2,000, and now I'm not saying that everybody can do it, but if you did have extra money, you can gain $2,000 or put $2,000 in there per year. By the time it's all said and done, it's astronomical numbers. $43.8 million in a dividend portfolio that you're consistently investing into and believing into and all of that stuff. Now what's going to happen? Now you have $53 million. How much can you gain in dividends from $53 million? A lot. The point is that you have the opportunity to do so, and we have so much more information than we've ever had before. To not utilize this knowledge in the best of your ability and for your family in the end, it's insane. You have to utilize this knowledge. Anyways, I have to get out of here. It's 12 o'clock. I gotta go eat lunch and I gotta pick up a hot glue gun for my daughter's project. But if you can hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of the links that are down below. It does help out the channel. If you guys want to, still in 12 likes. You can't believe it. Can't believe it. I mean, we're on 102 likes. So thank you guys for getting me to 100 likes. I appreciate it. Also, again, if you want to check out my link for BTCC, which is down below, if you specifically use my link, you will get a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses up to $10,055. Also, you can enter this giveaway if you sign up, deposit, and trade. You'll be entered to win, be one of the 3 winners of 500 USDT. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you again so much, all of you, for being here, for commenting, for liking, for subscribing, and all that stuff. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. Also, anybody on Twitch, thank you for watching as well. Anybody on X, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch me as well. And again, I'll catch you in the next one.